A lone figure stood under a rain-drenched lantern, casting long shadows on a dimly lit screen. They called her China's fairy sister, a hushed voice intoned, but behind the porcelain veneer lurked a storm she could never tame. Before you dismiss this as another fairy tale, brace yourself. This is the true story of Liu Yifei, the ethereal ingenue whose flawless grace was crushed beneath global politics, social media frenzy, and a Disney crown too heavy to bear. Yifei grew up in Wuhan. Her father lectured on literary classics at a diplomatic academy, while her mother pirouetted on grand stages, an upbringing steeped in art and intellect. Yet when their marriage splintered, a 10-year-old Liu Yifei boarded a plane for New York, clutching only a heart full of dreams and a suitcase of uncertainty. In the boroughs of Brooklyn, she learned English between school bells and subway rides, absorbing a new culture even as she yearned for home. At just 15, she gave up on the American dream to take a bolder chance, chasing fame in China. The Beijing Film Academy accepted her as their youngest pupil, and almost overnight, she was cast as the fragile beauty in the story of a noble family. Viewers were captivated, reviewers praised her, and soon Liu Yifei was named the country's beloved fairy sister, with her graceful charm in lace and linen winning everyone's admiration. Beneath her smooth exterior, she felt trapped. The parts she played were all the same, locking her in a golden cage she longed to break free from. Her breakout into Hollywood should have rewritten her narrative. In The Forbidden Kingdom, she fought alongside Jackie Chan and Jet Li, showing strong determination behind her gentle appearance. Netizens speculated that at last her dual identity, Chinese grace meets Western grit, would elevate her beyond superstardom into true artistic legend. As the credits ended, Liu Yifei faced a choice: hold on to the fairy tale or transform herself in a tougher spotlight. She chose the crucible. Turning her back on tepid period dramas, she dove into gritty supernatural thrillers and action-packed martial arts epics, donning the mantle of emotionless in the fore. Fans couldn't believe how cold fury replaced porcelain poise. In modern romances like The Third Way of Love, she dropped the hanfu for high heels and cell phones, navigating heartbreak and ambition under neon city lights. Each film was a scalpel, carving away at her old image, but critics still heard only echoes of a wooden doll. Rumors began to swirl that industry insiders were undermining her, branding her beautiful but blank. Gossip columns feeded every misstep: a missed cue on set, an awkward line reading in an interview, a tepid award acceptance. The irony was cruel. Her bankability soared, yet the narrative of her limited range hardened like ice. Why can't she just be natural? Bloggers wondered, while others whispered of studio sabotage and cold-blooded PR wars. Netizens speculated that her American citizenship cast a shadow over her authenticity, accusing her of a hidden agenda to corral both East and West. Then came the offer of a lifetime, the lead in Disney's live-action Mulan. Months of sword drills, archery lessons, and horseback training sculpted her into a warrior goddess, an embodiment of the folk hero's indomitable spirit. Fans from Beijing to Boston held their breath as she nailed every stunt and scene, her eyes burning with fierce determination. On paper, it was the perfect comeback, a chance to silence critics and unify her fractured identity beneath one legendary role. But in the summer of 2019, disaster struck with a single social media post. She shared a picture from a government newspaper on Weibo and wrote, "I stand with the Hong Kong police. Go ahead, attack me if you want." Soon after, viewers from abroad reacted strongly. "This is a betrayal," Twitter cried. "She stands with brutality, not heroism." The hashtag Boycott Mulan trended across continents as activists railed against a star they believed had embraced oppression. Fans couldn't believe their fairy sister had traded empathy for propaganda. Back in mainland China, state media hailed her as a patriot defending social order. Her domestic following swelled with patriotic fervor. She was lauded as the daughter the party could count on. Yet this triumph in one realm deepened her isolation in another. Rumors circulated of her missing eligibility for Chinese award nominations, her American passport brandishing her as a foreign interloper. Netizens speculated that never again would she be embraced fully by either nation. Just when it seemed this scandal might fade, a new revelation detonated at the film's release. Disney's end credits extended thanks to government agencies in Xinjiang, the region now notorious for alleged human rights abuses against Uyghur Muslims. International audiences recoiled. How could a film celebrating resistance owe gratitude to those accused of ethnic persecution? Suddenly, Mulan was no longer just Liu Yifei moment. It was a global flashpoint intertwining politics, corporate complicity, and celebrity influence. Liu Yifei found herself stuck between intense backlash from Western human rights advocates and strong criticism from Chinese nationalists. American pundits labeled her an apologist for tyranny, while nationalist commentators accused her of wimping out by calling herself Asian instead of Chinese in a press conference. Fans speculated if she would ever find a role that didn't demand she choose between loyalty and self-preservation. Retreat seemed her only refuge. In 2022, she made a comeback on local TV as the lead in the historical drama A Dream of Splendor. To everyone's surprise, the series soared, reclaiming her as China's darling and proving that controversy could be weathered if met with resilience and homegrown support. Yet critics remained skeptical, sniffing at her performances for echoes of the old critiques while praising her box office magnetism. Today, Liu Yifei stands at a new crossroads. The fairy sister persona has been forever fractured, replaced by a complex mosaic of artistry, politics, and personal conviction. Will she dare to confront the controversies again on a global stage, or will she choose the safer embrace of the market that forged her fame? Rumors suggest a pivot toward independent cinema and activist endeavors, possibly her boldest role yet. Camera pans away. One question lingers in the dimming light. Can a star ever truly escape the gravity of her choices? Or will every new performance be weighed on the scales of political judgment? Only time will tell whether Liu Yifei's next act redeems her legacy or cements her as the cautionary emblem of fame in the age of global division.